Well, first of all, a seeker has to be interested in truth. Most people don't understand that there's such a thing as truth. They don't understand that there's such a thing as enlightenment. They don't understand that there's such a thing as pure awareness. And so the seeker starts becoming aware that there are such things. Most people are so lost in dream they don't realize it. The seeker becomes aware of truth, quite often because they come into the presence of somebody who's living as truth, and they experience the Buddha field. And then they get interested in it because it offers a way out of the suffering that usually they've realized that they're in. And if they're with a teacher who teaches the nuts and bolts, it'll be explained as to why they're suffering, and that it's because of their resistance to life. And that fires up more of an urge to get out of the prison, which is the mind, whose bars are made of fear, and the seeker becomes wanting freedom. All seekers want freedom basically from the mind, because they've realized that the mind is where you suffer. And most people live in the mind as the dream of the mind rather than in reality. And so there is a way out, but the seeker is looking for that way out. So the seeker usually finds someone that is free to guide them. Unfortunately, there aren't many people on the planet who are free. So there's a shortage of guides. And there's a great deal of false gurus out there who are claiming to be awake who are not, who have had a satori and think that maybe that's enlightenment, and then they start teaching a way out which they're not even capable of. So when people come to see me like you come to see me, you step into my crosshairs, because the thing that's in the way is your ego. The dream that thinks it's you is the thing that's in the way. And the way to trip it up is to create situations where it has to accept life and let go of things. And that eventually teaches the mind unconditional surrender, which is the right ground for enlightenment. In going for heart, you learn the same things, because in going for heart, you have to also learn to surrender and let go of things. And so whether you go for beingness or you go for heart, both paths can bring you home. Both paths can lead to freedom. But what you think is bullshit. Without a thought, you already are. So what's this that you are? Without a thought, you already are. What's this that you are? And it has nothing to do with what you think. And someone who's free, who's enlightened, is actually existing as that, not separate from it, thinking there is somebody, but as that. Not to say that everybody isn't already that, they are, but they're just not aware of it. They think they're the mind and body, and that they've been somewhere and they're going somewhere, and they suffer accordingly. Freedom is from that, and the seeker is looking for that freedom. Now, the seeker can be curious, or it can be trying to get away from something. In my case, it was curiosity. I wasn't trying to get away from something. I was just curious to find out what was at the top of the mountain. And then when I found out, I wanted to stay there. And all I had to do was give up everything.